Hi, I'm Tom Antion. I'm here to tell you a little bit about the Wake 'em Up speaking system. If you're looking at this on a DVD, there should be some accompanying literature along with it so that you can read all the details. If you happen to be seeing this on a web page, then you can read all the nitty-gritty details on the web page. But what I'd like to do is give you an overview of some of the big things that you'll get from the system, how I developed it, why I developed it, what it'll do for you, and remind you that this is good for any type of style. I put in 7 years in studying the best of the best speakers to find all the best women speakers, the best men speakers, and find the techniques that they use. And I combined this with my long speaking career to come up with lots of techniques. In fact, I've identified over 1,000 individual techniques that are in this system that you need to know about if you want to be a high-level public speaker. All different styles are covered. We have special things for men and for women and all kinds of stuff. Now, I could have done a really fancy $20,000, $30,000 promotion or production for this, but I wanted you to see me personally because I'm going to be the one helping you along with, to personalize this, because anything on tape is general, or CD or DVD or in a book. I'm going to be here to help personalize this system for you, and I'll tell you about that a little later. Now, what I want you to look at is the two major parts of the system, first of all. First of all, this is DVDs 1 through 4, which is all about the art of speaking, how to be great on stage, pre-program research, and I'll go into each DVD here in a moment. And then this is about the business end of speaking, because you can be the greatest speaker in the world, but if nobody knows about you, then you're not going to make any money, or your name is not going to spread, and your celebrity status is not going to spread. So there's 2 major DVDs on the business of speaking, 4 on the art of speaking. Now, I'm going to use some notes here because guess what? I told you there's 1,000 individual techniques in here, and I'm not going to tell all of them to you on this video. But I want to remind myself of what's going on. Now, here's another tip, because I always love to throw tips in. If this was a real serious production where I wanted every single thing to be exactly perfect for you, I wouldn't have printed this on white paper. Now, what does that mean to you? Well, if you're being videotaped and you hold notes up, you probably should print them out on powder blue or gray, because the white overblows the camera, where the gray or powder blue sometimes looks white on video. So if you're on stage, you know you're going to be videoed, print your handout or your notes on powder blue or gray. There's just one little tip that can make or break a video that you may have paid thousands of dollars to have a video crew to video you. So you don't want to mess it up with a little thing like that. In fact, in the book that I'll tell you about later, we've got a whole section on tips and tricks for video, how to look great on video. All right, let's see if I missed anything. Oh, I wanted to tell you that you don't have to wait for years to make money as a speaker. A lot of people say, well, go do 600 rotary speeches, and tape every one of them, and you'll get better and better. Absolutely true. You will get better and better if you do 600 rotary speeches, and you will eat a lot of chicken, too, I got to tell you that. But you don't have to do that. I don't believe in the old style stuff. These are things that work to the supreme high level in today's environment. So you don't have to wait. You have to learn how to package yourself. Yeah, I want you to be good on stage. That's why I spent all this time creating all these techniques and showing them to you. But immediately you can start acting like a professional if that's your goal. Some people only want to do this as a hobby or to do better at work. But if most of the people that buy this want to be a professional, and if that's your goal, then you can start creating a fee schedule and start putting yourself out there for good, solid fees right away. And then as you get better, your fees will continue to rise. So you don't have to wait forever to get started doing this. All right, now let's see. Let me go into, well, here's a few things that people have said about me just to get you started. The founder of the National Speakers Association, Cavett Roberts, sat in the front row of one of my presentations, and he said, Tom's program and materials will cut 5 years off a speaker's learning curve. And I really found that to be true because it took me 5 years to really figure out what was going on because I didn't have a system like this. Mark Victor Hansen, he's co-author of Chicken Soup for the Soul, 100 million books sold, said Wake 'em Up teaches you to be irresistible as a presenter. And that may seem like just hollow words, except Mark has me at his major events and I'm one of the top back of the room salespeople. So I'm back over and over and over again at his events. And in one case, you know, they don't really want to have the same people every time, but one case the meeting planner called me up and said, you know, Tom, we can't help but have you back. People were scratching out 10s on your evaluation sheet and writing in 11s and 12s and having back every time because of the things you learn in this system. Dottie Walters, who is considered the godmother of professional speaking, said, mastering the skills in Tom's program will virtually guarantee you will always be in demand as a speaker. And to be honest with you, I turn more speeches down now than I accept. I don't have to do the Holiday Inn basements anymore. Sorry, Holiday Inn, but that's a lot of times with the little dinky events or in little basements, and I only do the best of the best now. I don't even speak that much anymore, maybe 8 or 10 times a year, and I'm considered to be, by most figures, in the top 1% of speaker income in the world. So all of the things in this system help you to get there as fast as possible. All right, so let's take a look about what the system's about. Well, DVD 1, I won't take them out of the case here because I'll probably drop them on the floor or something, but DVD 1 is pre-program work, introductions, and openings. Now, pre-program work is where I always say, I did all the work, most of the work for my speeches is done before I even get into the state or the country that I'm speaking at, because of the pre-program work I teach you how to do. All kinds of little tips and tricks to get information from people that you can use in your speech that they will think, my goodness, this person is in our industry, or they know more about us than we know about us. That's what will get you real high evaluations and high fees. So I teach you all of that on DVD 1. Introductions. Your introduction is a critical thing, and I've taught people that have been in the business for 20 years and didn't know these things. I'll give you one tip on that now. We use a piece of test humor in our introductions, in my introductions. And you say, well, why do you do that? Just to get the audience chuckling? No, I want to see if they're ready to chuckle. The people that I taught thought, well, I should start my speech and use some test humor and see if they laugh. No, it's too late. That looks like you're bombing then. So what I do is I stand on the side of the stage and I watch to see if they laugh at the piece of test humor in my introduction. If they do, I know they're ready to have a good time. If they don't, it might be too early in the morning, something bad might have happened in the group, who knows, it might be too late at night, they're tired. I know I have to do other things on stage because I don't want to get up there and tell a joke or have something funny going on and they don't laugh. So it'll look like I'm bombing. So test humor in your introductions is critical. That's just one of the 1,000 tips and techniques that are in this system. All right, other things, openings. We give you cookie cutter. When I say we, it's me and all the things I've learned. I guess I relate to all these other speakers that I've learned from over the years. But I give you cookie cutter openings. So you can just plug in the information and have an opening ready to go. And usually I have more than one opening ready to go. There's another tip I'm throwing in. I can't help it, folks. I love to throw the tips in. I have more than one opening ready to go depending on what I learned from the test humor in the introduction. See, so I always hit the stage, boom, running, and I know exactly what the audience needs. So we give you the cookie cutter approaches to that.